students. It's Inside Human tutorial, and in the previous part we discussed about the basic of the nerves, and now let's see the attachments of the cranial nerves on the brain and the brain stem. And so let's start. So first, olfactory, second, optic. These two nerves are related to the cerebrum. These two are related to cerebrum. And third, fourth, third, oculomotor, trochlea. These two are related to the midbrain. And fifth, which is trigeminal nerve, it is related to the pons, mid of the pons. Yeah. And sixth, which is abducent, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Sixth is abducent, seventh is facial, eighth is vestibulocochlear. So these three are attached on the pontomedullary junction. Then first we talk about 12th. Okay, so 12th cranial nerve was hypoglossal. This is attached on the medulla and on the anterolateral sulcus. Fine. And the 9th, 10th, and 11th, which is glossopharyngeal, vagus, and accessory. These three are also attached on the medulla, but in the posterolateral sulcus. So these are the attachments of the cranial nerves. Again we repeat: olfactory and optic, first and second is attached on cerebrum, third and fourth on the midbrain, fifth is attached on the mid of the pons, and sixth, seventh, and eighth are attached on the pontomedullary junction, and 9th, 10th, 11th on the posterolateral sulcus of medulla, and hypoglossal, which is 12th, it is attached on the anterolateral sulcus of the medulla. So let's see in the image. So as you can see in this image, this is the olfactory nerve. Okay, sorry, olfactory nerve is not showing here. The olfactory nerve ends in the olfactory bulb, which forms the olfactory tract, and which is then connected to the cerebrum. And optic nerve, it is also attached, related to the cerebrum. Then oculomotor and trochlea, these two are attached on the midbrain. This is oculomotor and this is the trochlear nerve. And then trigeminal nerve, it is attached on the pons, as we can see in this image. This is the trigeminal nerve. Then On the pontomedullary junction, means the junction between pons and medulla, we can see this is the 6th, 7th and 8th cranial nerves. And on the medulla, interiorly in the anterolateral sulcus, this is the hypoglossal nerve which is present alone, and behind this on the posterolateral sulcus there are 3 nerves from above the downwards. These are 9th, 10th and 11th. So fine, now we have done with the attachments of the cranial nerves on the brainstem and brain, and now let's go ahead, and now we see the functional component. Let us understand the functional component and the nuclei of the cranial nerves. So what is the functional component? So functional components, the functional components are the components or the type of fibers which a single cranial nerve possesses or contain. So let's write it. What is functional component? Type of fibers which a single cranial nerve possesses. Okay, so a cranial nerve contains two type of components. These are afferent and efferent. So afferent means ascending, A to A, we keep it remember like this, A to A, ascending. So ascending means which is going towards the C and S. So this is sensory. And efferent is opposite to the afferent, so it is motor or descending. Fine. So these afferent and efferent are further divided into somatic and visceral. Let's use a different color. Somatic and visceral. This is also subdivided into somatic and visceral. What is the meaning of somatic? So somatic means the body wall and skeletal muscles and also the limbs. And visceral means the viscera of our body. And so the sensory fibers carries the information from the from the body walls and the viscera, and the motor fibers, motor nerves, carries the information to this body wall and the viscera. So these somatic and visceral components are further divided into general and special. So general and special. It is also divided into general and special. General and special. This is only this is not divided into general and special. This is only general. Visceral, somatic. This is also divided into general and special. So let's write the full name. This is general, somatic, afferent, and this is spatial, somatic, afferent. This is general, visceral, afferent. This is spatial, visceral, afferent. This is only general, somatic, so GS. And general, visceral, efferent, and special, visceral, efferent. So these are the 7 functional component. These are in efferent, and these 4 are the afferents. Afferent and 3 are the efferent. So now I will explain 2 important tables which will make it easy for you guys to keep to write functional components of the cranial nerves. So let's see. This is the first table, in which this side we will write the afferent components, and this side we will write the efferent components. So what were the afferent components? In first column, in this column, we will write G, V, A and S, V, A, because these 2 components have a single nucleus. Fine. Then G, S, A and S, S, A. This is extra. Fine. So, and now here we will write the efferent column, which is somatic, efferent, somatic, spatial, visceral, efferent, and general, visceral, efferent. Midbrain, pons and medulla. Okay, so now we will fill the columns with the nucleus with the different pen. This is 3rd, 4th, 6th and 12th. Then in the pons, 5th and 7th. In the medulla, this is nucleus ambiguous. Ninth, 10th and 11th means 9th, 10th and 11th, these nerves have this component, and this is the Edinger-Westphal, which is 3rd nerve nuclei. Then 7th, 9th, this is superior salivatory and inferior salivatory. Now the dorsal nucleus of vagus, this 10th nucleus of vagus nerve. So this is dorsal nucleus of vagus. Then here seventh, ninth and 10th. This nucleus is Tractus solitarius. Tractus solitarius, and in general somatic afferent there is a large nucleus which is present in midbrain, pons and medulla in all the columns, all the parts. So this is the nucleus of fifth cranial nerve, which is trigeminal nerve. It has three parts: mesencephalic, sensory and spinal nucleus. Fine. In the spatial somatic afferent, in this the nucleus of eighth cranial nerve, vestibular nucleus and cochlear nucleus. So this is one table, and in another table I'm merging the another table with this table to make it more simple. In this table we will discuss the supply. So these functional component innovate which part or which type of fibers they carry. So somatic efferent, it will supply the body wall muscles. I should write with the pen. Body wall muscles and limbs, eyeball muscles and tongue muscles. So this is somatic efferent. Okay, then special visceral efferent. Special visceral efferent column is for the muscles which are derived from the mesodermal arches or the pharyngeal arches. So these the somatic visceral efferent spatial visceral efferent column will supply the branchial arch muscles, which are facial muscle and muscles of mastication, muscles of larynx and muscles of pharynx. So these will be supplied by special visceral efferent, and the general visceral efferent column is for the smooth muscles and glands. And the general visceral afferent, this is for the GVA for the pain sensation, and the SVA for the taste sensation, and the GSA general somatic afferent. This is for the exteroceptive and the proprioceptive sensations. What are the exteroceptive and proprioceptive sensations? So exteroceptive sensations are the pain, touch, temperature and pressure. And the proprioceptive are the sense of position and joints. Fine. And the SSA or the spatial somatic afferent. These are for the vision, hearing, equilibrium and smell. Okay guys, so now if someone asks you about the functional component or the nucleus of any of the cranial nerve, like let us take an example, the third cranial nerve. So you can see where is the nucleus of the third cranial nerve. So in this column and in this column. So the functional component of third cranial nerve is somatic efferent and general visceral efferent. And what about the nucleus? The nucleus are present in the midbrain. There are two nucleus of the third cranial nerve, this and the Edinger-Westphal nucleus. And if someone asks you about the sixth cranial nerve, then you can see there are only one nucleus which is present in the pons, and the functional column is somatic efferent. But there are not only one functional component, the GSA functional component is present in all cranial nerves. So you have to add this column in all cranial nerves. Fine. So again, the third cranial nerve will have the somatic efferent, general visceral efferent, and this column also. Okay, so now you can write. Let's take one more example, like the 10th cranial nerve. Let's take the 10th cranial nerve. So where is the 10th cranial nerve nucleus? In this column, in this column, and in this column. Fine. So the 10th cranial nerve functional components are the somatic visceral efferent, general visceral efferent, and these two components, general visceral afferent and somatic visceral afferent. And as I have already said that GSA is common in all the cranial nerves, so this is also present in this cranial nerve, in 10th cranial nerve. So now you can, I think now you are up to clear. Now you can write all the functional component and nucleus of the all cranial nerves. So this table is very useful, and you have to remember this, you have to learn this. So okay, let's